7th annual Jack Tosh Holiday Classic. It is Championship Sunday, and with that, we have the LT Lyons and the Glenbard West Hilltoppers, Gavin Hughes, Bobby Hessling. We have quite a game on tap for us.
Gavin, we do have a game on our hands, and it's not Sunday, it's Friday. You've been slipping up a lot with that.
I kept saying that all week.
And yeah. Anyway, but yeah, heck of a matchup tonight. First, we'll start with Coach Sloan of the Lions. Coach, you played Glenbard West Lions. You guys lost bad. We've won 4 straight games. How do you keep the momentum coming into tonight?
We just need to worry about what we do well. We need to handle the ball, move the basketball. You know, Glenbard West's size and length presents a lot of problems, so we need to pass fake and make sure that we don't turn the ball over. And then on the defensive end, take away any easy opportunities around the basket and make sure we block out and be tough.
All right, good luck tonight, Coach, and we hope to be talking to you.
All right, sounds good.
He's got his work cut out for him tonight. Before the tournament, you said that, players have to play as, teams you haven't seen before. The story's a little bit different. Team you're familiar with. How's the game plan kind of changed playing each?
Well, the game plan doesn't necessarily change. It's just we're really familiar with our opponent. We know that Lyons is going to compete at a high level. They're very well coached. They're physical and they're tough. So we have to just make our statement inside often and early.
Coach, best of luck to you today. Enjoy it. Yeah, I mean, it's a really exciting championship Friday.
There you go.
But I tell you what, what's interesting is that these are 2 West Suburban Conference teams playing on the court of a West Suburban Conference member as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting. And this is the second time in the last 5 years we've had 2 West Suburban teams, West Suburban Conference championship game on this floor in the Jack Tosh. We're in for a good one here tonight.
Folks, we hope you continue to join us here on York Sports Network. For Gavin Hughes, he is Bobby Hessling. We'll be right back to the championship, the final 32 minutes of the Jack Tosh Holiday Classic. We'll be back after this. Welcome into the championship of the 47th annual Jack Tosh Holiday Classic. Game number 67 means nothing but the championship game. Today's matchup between the Glenbard West Hilltoppers and Lyons Township Lions. Bobby, a little bit more interesting than in years past. These are conference rivals.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. And they are conference rivals. They've already met once this year, and that's very rare for the Jack Tosh, where teams have met already once before. And this is the third consecutive tournament that features a West Suburban Conference school in it. 2018 was York and Downer South. We remember that one very well. And then 2019 had York in it again. And then in 2021 was Glenbard West and Lyons Township.
Glenbard West coming in as 13-0, Lyons Township at 11-2. Bobby, these two teams have met before. Real quickly, I believe we will get to the national anthem in a second. But keys to the game for LT?
Keys to the game, and it's just, you know, they have to do what they do best. And their big question tonight is, can they knock off the number one team in the state?
Certainly their work cut out for them here today. And, you know, Glenbard West is has gotten used to kind of steamrolling teams in this tournament.
Well, not only that, the big stage.
Yeah, I mean, and they've dominated. It's been something that, you know, it's hard to stop. You know, 4 of 5 of the starters committed to D1 schools,
right.
1 to West Point,
2 to West Point.
2 to West Point, 1 to Princeton, and the other, obviously, Braden Huff going to Gonzaga.
Yeah.
Real quickly, the national anthem. We'll be back after this. Well, we're certainly in for a good one. As I mentioned, Glenbard West was a team that we talked about before the tournament that had a strong chance of getting to this point.
Absolutely.
But LT has caught a lot of fire as of late.
Well, I think LT was a team that shot kind of both of us to be here. You know, Glenbard West, obviously, they were the favorite to be here. They're the favorite to win this game here tonight as their starting 5 gets introduced. But, yeah, you're right. LT did catch a lot of us by surprise, but they steamrolled opponents in that, too. Their average win in the Jack Tosh, their margin of victory, 30 points. That's incredible.
And that's much of the credit to a guy by the name of Tavari Johnson wearing 5 in white. He had 28 points last night. I mean, that's something that's something that you're asking a lot of a guy to put up almost 30 points in a semifinal game.
Right. It's hard to do, and he just kind of took over, did his thing. And he's not the only one on this LT team that you got to keep in mind. Nicholas Polanowski is a junior guard forward. He's another one that I would watch for. He's 35 and white. He had a big dunk last night. Both these teams, they've seen the way they play. They know each other. I think the confidence level for both these teams is at almost an all-time high.
And, you know, something that we saw previously when Glenbard played Leo was there was a lot of hype around that game. But Glenbard West came out and did what it seems like they always do. But today, the energy feels a little bit different. There's fans here from either school. And there's no home field advantage or home court advantage here today. You
know, it's a neutral site game, and when's the last time we've seen that in the Jack Tosh? It's been a few years. So this is definitely something that I think a lot of people are going to keep in mind. They're excited to be here, excited to be sitting next to you.
This plays my school basketball. Wearing blue and white are the Lions of LT. And in the black jerseys are the Glenbard West Hilltoppers, taking the jump for the Lyons Township Lions, Nicholas Polanowski, and for Glenbard West, Brayton Huff, and this one goes to the Hilltoppers.
It's hard to beat Huff in a jump ball. Safe to say that. Paxton Warden, got to keep in mind, all these guys can shoot. They can do whatever they want.
Inside to Huff now.
Be interested to see how Huff attacks the basket here tonight. And a late foul call.
Foul immediately called. This one will come against Graham Smith. And so 20 seconds into this thing, and Brayden Huff is already at the line, and LT already has one team foul.
Last night, Huff from the line was perfect. In this whole tournament, he is perfect as well. He's now 17 for 17.
Hits the first, and the Hilltoppers are the first to draw blood. It'll be interesting because, you know, he's a big player, but he has such tremendous guard-like ability.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We saw him in 2019-20, and he was about, 6'6", 6'7", and he had guard-like skills then, and then he grew a little bit, and his height now, with those guard-like skills, it's not easy.
I believe they have him listed at 6'9". Tremendous defensive presence here in the early going from Glenbard West.
I mean, Bobby Durkin and Caden Pierce are at the top of that 1-3-1 zone that they like to run, and we've not seen a lot of teams beat that zone relatively easily either.
Yeah, and something that helps Coach Apoka and company in today's game, like we mentioned, the familiarity. And this is a team that Glenbard West has already seen. Not only that, after going against each other for so many years, they see the play style in terms of the execution. There's a three, pop there on the way. That one no good. Rebound goes to Glenbard West.
Yeah, open look, but Rolling Meadows last night, they had a lot of open looks from three. We were taking a lot of deep threes, too. They were not able to fall. With Glenbard West, you're going to have to hit your shots or else something like this is going to happen.
Bobby Durkin rattles in the three, and just like that, it's a quick 5-0 advantage for the Hilltoppers.
Cannot let Glenbard West go on a run by any means.
Looking, good right hand finish.
And to be able to get inside is something else that's going to be big for LT to do as well.
That one up and in and good from Graham Smith. Caden Pierce is a player that, a tremendous point guard, really underappreciated point guard in this year's tournament.
Absolutely.
Tremendous facilitator of the ball. Going up is Durkin, the transfer. Rebound there by Pierce.
Well, the struggle for LT is going to be grabbing defensive rebounds with all that height that Glenbard West has, because they can grab rebounds on the offensive glass very easily, regardless of who it is. Pierce is 6'5", Huff is 6'10", Renfro and Warden are both around.
Foul called there. This one comes against LT.
Graham Smith, that's his second.
Already his second. And Caden Pierce, not the only Pierce brother playing in a pretty important game today. He played, obviously, here in the Tosh Championship, but his older brother, Alec Pierce, wide receiver #1 of the Cincinnati Bearcats, playing in the Cotton Bowl Classic in Dallas. Setting things up now is Hunter Renfro, had a tremendous game against Leo. Back to Pierce, and Glenbard West trying to run the offense. Durkin again, got it to go.
Durkin's got a hot hand from three. Very hot hand. He's shot well his entire high school career. And a bad pass, you got to be ready for that down low.
Yeah, Johnson definitely trying to force that pass inside to Elliott Russell. Turnovers are going to play a pretty. You cannot make mistakes against a team like Glenbard West. Glenbard West with a early 6-point lead with just over 5.5 to go in the opening quarter. That's the other thing is that, Glenbard West moves the ball so quickly. We see it there. Renfro can't finish, and the foul will come here against Billy Bach.
I think Polanowski had a nice block on that along the glass, but Renfro was able to grab it.
And real quickly, this was a player that we also really didn't see having a tremendous presence in the Tosh this year, but Paxton Warden has had himself a tremendous.
He really has, and his name kind of gets on this Glenbard West starting five is overlooked because of all the talent there. But Paxton Warden is a very special player. He's got the hot hand. He's very athletic too. Flies up and down the floor, but he just kind of gets hidden along with the names of Pierce and Renfro and Durkin and obviously Huff.
Renfro hits both. The lead 10-2. Yeah, if you're LT, I was just about to say you need a possession here that results in some points, but a quick turnover.
A lot of sloppy basketball.
Durkin from range again. Got it to go.
He's got a hot hand. You need a timeout if you're LT. You got to close him out outside. He's not missed from 3 yet. Oh, my goodness.
I mean, Bobby Durkin has had as hot of a start as you could possibly want.
You know, he shoots the 3 really well. We talked about this the whole tournament, and yesterday he had a tough chance for shots being able to fall. He's got 9 already.
Yeah, and not only
that's just like Bobby Durkin.
You know, that's something that, you know, in talking to Coach Apoka, he said it's important to get out to quick starts and being up 13-2, an 11-point advantage this early in the ball game, not even 3 minutes in.
No,
scary if you're LT.
Well, yeah, and the thing is, Coach Sloan said they gotta play their game their way. They have not played their game their way just because of how disruptive Glenbard West defense is, and already multiple quick turnovers by LT, and that's going to cost them. And
the other thing is LT already has 3 team fouls.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
that's
something to take into account.
And I was telling Brian last night when we were doing Glenbard West Rolling Meadows that Glenbard West is a very well-disciplined team just because of the height. That's how they're able to disrupt turnovers.
Aiden Sullivan trying to get the LT offense rolling. Gives now Elliott Russell out to Johnson. Johnson having trouble with the length and passes to absolutely nobody. The length of the Glenbard West defense, a trouble for the
He was trying to find Elliott Russell, and he was yelling at Russell. I think Russell was supposed to cut to the wing. He didn't. He just could have just stood there.
Pierce looking around, gets inside to Huff. Huff trying to work on Russell, has nothing, gets it back to Warden. Huff behind the back, drives, kick out, Renfro moving baseline. Now Warden from deep. He's fouled and going to the line and shooting through with Paxton Warden. That is Tavarian Johnson's first, but LT's 4th team foul.
Yeah, LT already very close to sending Glenbard West to the line to be shooting 1-on-1 with any more fouls. Warden 81% from the line in this tournament.
It's the front end. He will be shooting 3. So, you know, if all goes right for Warden here, 16-2 deficit, what do you have to do if you're LT to start chipping away at this lead? Seems like every time I've asked you that, I was going to say every time we've watched, you know, this Glenbard West team, it's hard to answer that question.
I mean, I don't know how you beat him. I mean, you have to try to beat the height. You know, the obvious answer is try to go down low. But you say that, well, you have Huff. You try to get Huff into foul trouble. Okay. Then you have Renfro, try to get him into foul trouble.
You know, if there's anything to critique of this Glenbard West defense, it's their transition, or this Glenbard West team, it's their transition, defense, and LT so far unable to really press the ball and run the length.
Well, I mean, how many times have I said at this tournament where that's a bad pass? They're going to make offense out of their defense like they probably will right here.
Renfro moving, good pass underneath, Warden the finish.
Proves my point. They do it so well.
18-2 now, the lead for Glenbard West. Getting a man in the air is Russell, unable to finish. Rebound by Durkin.
Well, it was a nice pump by Russell, not able to finish, however. And another possession comes up empty for LT. Pierce hit the deck hard. There.
That was Pulinowski on the block. This one taken away again by Durkin.
Pierce wanted an alley-oop of some sort. He's going to go to the line. Pierce last night, I know you were not here. You were in the city of Chicago. He tried to throw down on Foster Ogbonna and Orlando Thomas, was unsuccessful both times, and we're going to have a mass timeout.
I know the thing that's just so scary about this Glenbard West team, as you just said, is that they really don't have any fear of the competition.
No, not at all.
They
got so much confidence.
Yeah.
They have so much confidence. You know, they're able to move the ball up and down the floor really well. And then, I mean, you can't catch them in transition at all. You have to have successful possessions. And if you got to have long possessions that drain out the clock, and you have to come up, you can't come up empty in those possessions either, and that's the only way you stay in it. Either that or you have this speed like Leo does, who was in the game for the first half, and that kind of fell apart at the end.
You know, this is without question, this Glenbard West team, and if we look back after today, I can bite my tongue, but Glenbard West is probably the best high school basketball team I've ever seen play. And I mean,
you ever see play?
That I've ever seen play. We saw our Dukes play Whitney Young in 2019, and Whitney Young had a lot of highly touted players there as well. But Glenbard West, just in terms of we were talking at the beginning of the ball game, they're very comfortable, they're very loose, nothing ever looks too big, and they're very.
When you talk to a few of the players, they're so happy to be here. They're just having a fun time. And, everyone looks at Braden Huff. It's like, oh, my goodness, a 6'10", scary guy. And I've interviewed him twice, and he's always got the biggest smile on his face after a game. He's always extremely pleased. Whether, you're playing with the best team in the state of Illinois, probably one of the best teams ever, is Huff.
Goes up with the left hand again, and it's good. Seeing his first action of the ball game here this afternoon is number 25 in black. That is Jack Cardwell, the hot hand from three. Correction, number 12, that is Andrew Doxis.
Doxis, we were talking about him last night. He runs baseline to baseline really well.
The scoring drought for LT continues. Haven't scored since the first minute and a half of the ball game. Much attributed to the 22 deficit they currently face. Doxis trying to move baseline. Can't do it, and Glenbard West will set things back up. Durkin, the jumper.
He's got a hot hand right now.
Oh, my.
My goodness.
That is Billy
It's almost like
Durkin's
every shot that
11-point
he's
game.
taken has gone in.
Kick ball will come here against Caden Pierce. Yeah, Billy Durkin currently has half of the Hilltopper points. Jackson Diego will try and set things up. Looking around is Johnson in the near corner. Polanowski. Kick ball will come against the Hilltoppers here and Billy Durkin. This LT team doesn't have, a terrible resume here in the Tosh. In 2009, they were the champions. In 2014, they were third place. In 2017, we're the consolation champions.
Well, the thing is, they've been to day 5 multiple times. This is the 5th time they've been to day 5 in the last few seasons. I mean, clearly a team that's always solid. Jack Tosh, always a team that's hoping to win it. And a team you can never, underlook either.
Johnson looking. Outside kick, three-pointer. Is off the mark, no good. Rebound here to Glenbard West. Up the other way comes Doxis. Look, kicks to the corner. Billy Durkin, another one. Off the mark, no good. Rebound by Polanowski, looking up ahead to Elliott Russell. Right there, Huff went from the charge to the block, and that just shows you the length that Huff has. Just unfair for some opponents.
Really is. We talked about it, before with, Huff's wingspan and height. Does he want to donate any of that to us?
Checking into the ballgame now is Carter Reed for Elliott Russell. Yeah, 5'10" isn't really cutting it for me.
No.
As LT, with just about 1:15 left in the first quarter, trying to get things going. Corner three. It's strong and good.
Much needed basket.
On the basket.
Much needed basket for Nicholas Polanowski. And Nicholas Polanowski, he's also had a pretty good tournament thus far. He's averaging about 10 a game. Like we mentioned, he's had a few dunks that have gone down.
Travel will be called here on Doxis, but
very
that's the
rare
other thing.
Travel too.
That's the other thing, is that you're going to have to ask players to make shots and kind of sustain that confidence again. I mean, you look at the score right now, 22-5. Hey, you just have a three. You need another possession here. It's going to result in some points, but you got to shoot like the score is 0-0.
You really have to. I mean, it's very difficult to beat the 1-3-1 zone.
Especially, we highlighted it, that length. Very hard to beat. Johnson looking around, kicks back out. Diego from range. Off the mark, no good. Rebound to Glenbard West.
Was that Huff who came in there and tried to grab that miss, or was that Warden? Because whoever that was got really up in the air.
Yeah, I think Warden came in and got that rebound, but The thing is, you know, Braden just puts his hands up in the air. He's already touching the rim.
Yeah, wow.
Dox is setting things up for Glenbard West. 5 seconds left. Ball in the hands of Huff. Working. Huff looking. He goes up. Right hand finish. That's how we will end the quarter. So after one, the score 24-5. We'll be right back to the 47th annual Jack Tosh Holiday Classic Championship just after this. We welcome you back to start quarter number 2. Bobby, if you're LT, what do you got to tell yourself to try and get back into this thing?
Try to beat the defense? I mean, I'm not entirely sure.
You know, I'm going to ask you that question in a lot of different ways here this afternoon.
You're going to ask me that question too many times. And every time I'm going to tell you the same answer. I do not know.
Is LT trying to really look for anything? It's just been too quick. Is that takeaway there by Warden?
You think Coach Apoka knows how to beat his defense or no?
That's a great question, actually. I mean, if we put him in blue and yellow, it'd be interesting to see.
How does he handle against that? He's still a very good coach, the way he's able to develop talent. You know, he came here, this is his 3rd season. And, you know, they were not, oh, he stepped out of bounds, it's going to go down the other way. I mean, they've always had solid seasons with him being under the helm, especially that first year. And I think a lot of people, it was just a lot of unknowns. And then last year, you know, a lot of the talent started to develop. And then obviously this year, the #1 in the preseason for his Sun Times poll.
Checking into the ball game for Aiden Sullivan was Billy Bach, as Bach shoots the 3. That one's short. Rebound, there he is. The hot hand from deep.
Jack Cardwell. Usually the 6th man off the bench, not today. But yeah, he's a guy that you can't leave open. He's another shooter in this Glenbard West lineup. He's very quick as well.
The corner from Huff is good. His first 3-point.
He can do just that.
Of the game is a flush.
He can do just that.
Trying to look inside there was Bach. I mean, you know, you see it from our vantage point. I wouldn't know where to go either. Corner 3 on the way. Polanowski short. You know, it feels like we're doing a lot of the same thing. That one. Off the mark, no good, and back the other way comes
It would be nice for LT to come up here with a scoring position.
Johnson
there you go.
Got it to go.
Coast to coast. Tavori Johnson. And it's so weird that, you know, Apoka, they're currently up by 20, but they allowed a fast break basket, and Apoka's extremely unhappy with that.
You know, I think, I mean, I don't necessarily know the prime reason or the, you know, potential reason for the timeout, but if that's a matter of getting back, I love the you know, pursuit of perfection there. You know, just
right?
The
yeah,
extreme,
exactly. It's like
the attention to detail.
We want to be the best team in the state, which they are, but we want to be the best team in the state ever. Yeah. Which, you know, there's a few really good Simeon teams that I think they can catch, but they've got to be on that prestigious list of all-time teams.
This is the highest-ranked team to ever play on Championship Friday. Of the Jack Tosh.
May I ask why you've been calling it Sunday the last week?
Championship Sunday just sounds right. I think.
I mean,
you know, I think, you know, Championship Saturday, college football.
Yeah.
Championship Sunday is when you usually have, you know, the NFC and AFC championships.
Yeah.
But You know, I don't know. It just there's something about championship.
It also sounds like a basketball thing too.
Exactly.
We don't even play high school basketball on Sunday.
Resuming action here. LT takes this one away.
You don't see that too much where they are able to knock away a lob.
Johnson unable to hit the floater, taken away by Huff. Huff looking around, gives out to Durkin. Durkin, who had the hot hand in the first quarter. Driving now is Pierce. Left-hand finish, no good.
Pierce has had a rough tournament. He's having a hard time getting shots to fall. You know, he's making a lot of great decisions offensively and defensively. That's a deep three.
Yeah, Billy Bach, that was a really deep three. You know, you don't want to start taking desperate shots here. We mentioned that might be the way they have to beat this defense.
Well, Rolling Meadows with Orlando Thomas and Cam Christie, they were shooting a lot of deep threes from near the volleyball line, regardless of where it was. Is Renfro?
That's not going to work. Is Renfro and the charge going back the other way? Yeah, Renfro. I mean, you can't do that.
No.
5:11 left in the second quarter. Glenbard West by 20.
I think it's only a matter of time before LT starts pressing and try to get something going that way.
Yeah, and you know, the Leo Glenbard West game, you know, we didn't really see get out of hand till
mid to late third quarter.
Yeah, the latter parts of that ball game, but here it's been nothing but Hilltoppers early. Great move there from Renfro. Put him in a spin cycle and finishes with the left hand.
Absolutely beautiful move. And Renfro, not the tallest guy on the floor, but has a very strong post presence.
Diego looking around, unable to find anything, has to go over top to Johnson. Johnson gives. Three-pointer on the way. That went off the mark, no good. LT not able to hit their threes here really at all.
Not at all. Huff lost that. It's going down the other way.
Everyone in black and green saying that ball was tipped. Stripes says no. So with 4:20 to go, LT trailing now by 22. Yeah, I think the largest deficit that Leo hit a few days ago was 23, and as you mentioned, that was taken away with ease. Was Pierce looking, gives to Huff. Huff goes up, tries to foul, he got it.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Huff up and in and going to the line to execute on the three-point play.
The pass is not only behind him, but he's also behind the basket and underneath it. So what he has to do is just use that left hand and try to finish that way. And you know, yeah, you're gonna get the foul. You could go to the line and shoot too, but to be able to finish.
Hey, if I told you this,
that's his first missed free throw of the tournament, by the way.
First miss of the tournament, unbelievable. But if I told you this, LT already has 17 fouls, while Glenbard West has 0. The discipline from the Hilltoppers, unbelievable.
Yeah, we said it last night. The discipline for this Glenbard West team is second to none. That's a big-time three right there for LT.
First points in a long time for the Lions, cuts it to 21.
Well, now any foul that comes along Glenbard West, they're going to line and shoot at least a 1-on-1.
Up trying to work now. Gives back up to Durkin. You know, the depth of this Glenbard West team is unbelievable. We have all 5 starters back out on the floor now. Durkin goes, jumper. Off the mark, no good. Rebound goes to Renfro. A fight for it. Now to Warden, setting back up. Pierce, deep three. Off the mark, no good. Taken away by Diego and the Lions, and a foul. The first one of the afternoon on any Hilltopper will come against Pierce.
Very aggressive foul right there from Pierce. I mean, Pierce is shooting 40% from 3, and I've been saying he's kind of been having a rough tournament. Only averaging 9 points per game, and that's unlike Caden to be.
And so with that mass timeout, we will take one ourselves. With 3:09 left in the second quarter, it is Glenbard West 31, Lyons Township 10. So resuming action after the mask timeout. It is LT trying to get something rolling offensively. Looking, deep three, corner three is good.
Huge one.
Strong.
Polanowski. Polanowski's knocked down 2 threes, I think. No, there's still a half-court press. I'd say it's only a matter of time before you start trying to force some turnovers. That way, in Glenbard West team that does not turn the ball over a whole lot.
And that was just too easy. Pierce up and strong.
Strong finish by Caden Pierce.
Lead goes back to 20. Around Polanowski to Niego. Davari Johnson looks inside. Got it in to Polanowski. Threaded the needle.
Yeah, really nice pass and then an even better finish.
As we approach the 2-minute mark in the second quarter. You know, Lyons, credit to them, have gotten going offensively. It's Durkin. Now Renfro. Pierce trying to put a move on there on Bach. Renfro goes up and in.
Another strong finish with that right hand for Renfro. And like I said, his post presence is incredibly good.
Flips it opposite corner. Now Bach trying to move here on Warden. This Glenbard West team, the main story of the first half, living up to their name. Bach moving around. Tries to draw it inside, can't do it. Durkin the takeaway.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what he's trying to do there in terms of offense.
Goes up right hand. I thought
you thought he was going to throw down. I could tell. You were building up. That was a nice backdoor cut, too.
Bach moving baseline. Goes up with the right hand. Tough finish. Got it to go.
Nice, strong, and tough finish for Billy Bach.
1 minute remaining in the first half. Doxis and company go back to work. You know, if you're Glenbard West, not too much to sweat about here after one half of play. If you're LT, though, you got a lot on your hands.
Yeah, you got a big halftime speech coming from Coach Tom Sloan.
Foul will be called here. We'll be going back the other way. This one will come on Pierce with 40.3 to go.
Pierce already with 2 fouls. He's responsible for the only fouls for Glenbard West.
We mentioned that Caden Pierce's older brother, Alec, playing in today's college football playoff as a wide receiver. Another foul called. This one comes against Renfro. But yeah, the Pierce family has a lot to look forward to today. As
a lot to be happy about.
Alec playing in the Goodyear Cotton Bowl, and Caden here in the
inbound.
Jack Tosh champion timeout taken here by LT. Seeing his first action of the afternoon for Glenbard West is number 10, Kent Buchholz. But yeah, I mean, you know, this has been a first half that, without question, definitely favors Glenbard West.
Yeah. Well, I mean, 2 11-point scores when you look at the scoreboard for Glenbard West. That's Huff and Durkin. So, I mean, you know, they're doing a lot well. Glenbard West, that is. But LT, you know, Davari Johnson has not been able to get going because, you know, he does a lot of the dribble drive to the hoop. He's not able to have that. And, you know, Nicholas Polanowski is the one that's had to knock down 2 corner threes and have some inside looks. So, it's... I'm not entirely sure what to say about LT and how you battle back into this game.
I mean, LT, though, has kind of settled into a little bit of a rhythm offensively. Unfortunately, they gave it right back up on the defensive end.
Right.
But, you know, it's hard to look at a Tom Sloan coach team and not think that there's some fight back in there in the Lion locker room at half. And, you know, you just can't count them out just yet by any means with a whole another half to go of basketball. Taking it out of bounds for the Lions will be Aiden Sullivan. And you can bet LT looking for a solid possession here down the half. Had trouble getting it in at first, but now slips it into.
I think on a lot of other teams that inbounds play works out for 2 points, but because of Glenbard West height, they can't.
Niego, the 3. Off the mark, no good. Trying to draw the foul there was
Jackson
Niego. And with 15 seconds, Durkin takes the ball up the floor for Glenbard West. Warden going baseline, had looked for Renfro. Ball winds up in the hands of Durkin. He goes up, unable to finish. Renfro, this one was no good, but that's how we will end the half. So after 1 half of play, the score 37-17. Bobby, I mean, you know, if you're Glenbard West, you know, what do you feel like, if there's anything, what do you think they can improve on?
From Glenbard West perspective?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. They're firing well on all cylinders.
Yeah,
I don't know how you can improve if you're Glenbard West.
You know, if this game continues to go the way that it's headed, you can bet that we're going to see quite a few players deep from that deep bench get in for Glenbard West. But
absolutely,
nonetheless, if you're LT, got to get things going, and you got to get it going quickly.
Yeah, and you have to start with Tavari Johnson. That's your main guy. He's going to Akron next year. You start with him, you try to get stuff going, and if that doesn't work, I'm not saying throw in the towel, but you have to try to find someone else. I mean, Nicholas Polanowski is another guy that I would say you try to get your offense going through Polanowski and Tavari Johnson, and I think you have a chance to get yourself right back into this game.
After 1 half of play, it is Glenbard West 37, LT 17. We'll be right back to the Dick Campbell Gym and the Jack Tosh Holiday Classic Championship after this. And we welcome you back to the championship of the 47th annual Jack Tosh Holiday Classic. Bobby, I mean, you know, Glenbard West beating Lyons not only in terms of score, but across the stat sheet as well. Out-rebounding the Lions 14-7 as well. You bet that, you know, second chance points are become a factor in the second half here.
Really well.
Huff to inbound. And now Pierce gets it started. So, you know, you got 16 minutes left. You know, what do you have to do here if you're LT?
Well, I think LT needs to, you know, they got to start working the backside of that 1-3-1. They need to get the, you know, they need to get the defense to turn around a little bit. And, you know, you do that, I think you'll be in a good spot.
And so now working offensively is Glenbard West. Durkin looking three-pointer on the way, off the mark, no good. He was 75% from range in the first half. Now looking Pierce to Huff. Huff, his second three-point attempt of the game is strong and good. The lead goes back to 23. Javarian Johnson and company look to set things back up. Trying to actually look like they were
bad pass.
Trying to kind of work that backside of that 1-3-1 defense, but results in a turnover. Looking for Billy Bach was Javarian Johnson. You know, the first few moments of the second half are always so crucial to kind of get momentum swinging in your favor in the early going.
Right.
But a Braden Huff three-pointer to kick things off said otherwise, and certainly didn't help there with that quick turnover.
It did not.
Working as Durkin gives to Warden.
Well, I think now it looks like that LT's thrown his zone. It did at first. Now I think they've switched back to man-to-man.
Pierce.
Great take by Caden Pierce.
You know, you mentioned it. I mean, Johnson with 28 points last night. He's certainly a guy that they're going to try and get going. Good feed inside. Great block from Warden. Taken away by Durkin. You know, we saw Warden as Huff. Another one. Rattles in and out. Rebound winds up in his hands. Floater's good. Well, picking up right where they left off, and a quick timeout taken here by Tom Sloan. You know, Billy Durkin, we saw him, you know, take the ball up quite a bit there in the first half.
Right.
We usually saw Warden take the ball up in the Leo game at least.
Yeah.
You saw it differently last night?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we did see that a little bit differently with certain things, you know. But yeah, so far, big night from Durkin, and obviously Huff's having his performance.
You know, just over 6 minutes to go here in the third quarter. It's been an electric, you know, opening two minutes for Glenbard West and picking up right where they left off. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, if you're LT, you know, you mentioned it, trying just to beat that 1-3-1 defense is exactly what they have to do. And we obviously, you know, kind of knew that defense was going to be a problem coming in. That was a problem for every other team. Apologize for the technical difficulties. That's been a problem for every other opponent they faced, not only here as Johnson tried to get the three-pointer off, couldn't do it. Huff.
Not easy to shoot over Braden Huff
Pierce
like that.
gives to Warden. Got it.
Paxton Warden's got a hot hand.
You know, we were talking at halftime. It's just like, you know, they're playing, you know, pickup with their friends. I mean, they have that kind of chemistry of guys who have just played together forever. And they certainly have all. Going to that one taken away by, or blocked, excuse me, by Huff, going up and in.
Strong finish by Polanowski down low.
Polanowski will go to the line to try and capitalize on a three-point play. You know, we've emphasized it the entire tournament. Got to execute on free throws. Polanowski rattles that one home. The lead grows to 27.
I am interested to know what is the largest margin of victory in the Jack Tosh Championship.
It'll be interesting. We'll see if
there have been 46 of them. There have been a lot of close finishes.
Hard to imagine that Glenbard West isn't pushing the envelope on a record like that. As Warden goes, kick out, Durkin. Durkin giving back. Oh man, had that opportunity.
Bad pass.
But Durkin, the turnover. That was the other thing. Glenbard West in the first half did have 6 steals, so while the total amount of turnovers was 9 for Lyons, 6 of those were the Hilltoppers picking pockets and turning it back the other way. As Johnson trying to get things going, gives to Sullivan on the near side. Sullivan looks to be in trouble. Bach, the 3. No good. That's going to be an offensive foul.
And Sloan is saying that's a ridiculous call.
That one comes against Graham Smith. Already his 3rd foul. Tom Sloan, not a fan, as you mentioned.
Nope.
Bench warning will be assessed. Coach Tom Sloan and the LT bench. You know, Glenbard's just Glenbard has just been Glenbard, and I think, you know, a lot of folks kind of came into this one thinking, you know, LT's got a, you know, chip on their shoulder coming into this, but you know, it's kind of felt like David and Goliath here this afternoon.
Really has been. It really has felt that way.
Huff looking, gives it back up to Pierce, and resetting the offense is Caden Pierce. Gives Huff 3-pointer.
He's been almost automatic from outside the 3-point line.
I'll tell you what, I believe he's 3 of 4. Braden Huff having himself a nice afternoon. The look back, Polanowski, corner 3 on the near side is no good.
Great
rebound of Pierce.
Great feed from Tavari Johnson. To be able to find Polanowski in the corner, he's able to hit a few of those.
Pierce trying to hit another, can't do it. Rebound by Warden. He dribbles around with ease, up and in.
Kind of pulled it back down and then went right back up with it too. While in midair, that's not easy to do.
52-20 now the lead for the Hilltoppers.
Tavari Johnson on the floor is so smart offensively. Knows the right passes to make, knows the right shots to be taken.
Rebound by Renfro. You know, one of the things I was debating on asking Apoka in the pregame interview was, you know, what would it mean to, you know, win a Tosh? But, you know, something tells me that this Glenbard West team isn't worried about winning a holiday tournament.
No, they're not winning about holiday tournaments because they took care of their own in Thanksgiving. I can't remember if they're in another one or not, but this one is something they would be really proud of. It's a nice putback layup.
Warden up and off the glass.
They're worried about March, and they're not going to say that right now. They're not going to say, oh, we're not worried about March, we're worried about one game at a time. When we know they're all worried about what's going to happen down that stretch in March.
Rebound by Billy Durkin.
Trying to get to the University of Illinois. Play at the State Farm Center.
Oh, they upgrade. That's where it is this year?
Yeah, it is. Oh, did you not know that?
No, I did not.
They moved it out of Peoria, and they wanted to go back to the original home of the state basketball championship, which is obviously Champaign.
So a quick mass timeout will mean we take a timeout, and we will be right back to the Jack Tosh Holiday Classic. The lead, 54-20. It's been all Hilltoppers. As we resume play back here at the Tosh, Jackson Niego and the Lions offense trying to get something going here with 2 minutes left to go in the third.
Well, the interesting thing about Niego is he's got about 6 or 7 other relatives that have played for this LT program over the last 10 years. One of them ended up at the University of Indiana. That was Grant Niego. I mean, I feel like every year, this is our 3rd year doing this. It feels like for like the last about 10 years, we've had a Niego on an LT team.
You know, after that last 3, we talk about fatigue a lot in this tournament, having the quick turnaround and playing a lot of games in a short amount of time. Every 3, or it feels like just about every 3, has been short of the basket. I mean, hits the front of the rim, the front edge of the rim. You know, fatigue could be setting in here for LT. I mean, you know, winning games very comfortably, but you know, you start to see that really, you know, taking place and being a factor here this afternoon.
It really has been, because like I said at the top, their average margin of win in the Tosh was about 30.
Tough to finish. Lead now 56-20.
And they were scoring, what was it, 67, something like that, points per game in this tournament. You know, doing really well defensively. You know, LT's still a very good team, a team that will make a lot of noise in March. At least Coach Sloan can hope so.
Billy Bach trying to move on Cardwell, can't do it, gives back to Niego. Niego looking around.
Thing is, LT's got a great environment for basketball. Very large gym, bad pass, results in a turnover.
Taken away up ahead, Pierce. Tell you what, I don't know if he plays wide receiver in his free time, but that was a great adjustment.
Well, maybe him and his brother they work together growing up.
The lead now 58-20. You say it feels unreal.
Oh Lord, yeah.
Corner 3 from Polanowski. No good, rebound to Durkin. I mean, they're just moving up and down the court with ease, taking the ball away with ease, rebounding with ease, all of the above. 2.5 seconds left in the quarter. This one last touched by Cardwell.
Huff is going to sit. I wonder if that's the last time we'll call his name during play. You don't think so?
No, I don't know. I just have no idea. Diego off the mark, no good. At the end of 3 quarters, 58-20. There's not much you can say about it.
There isn't much to say besides Glenbard West is really good. LT is good, but Glenbard West is a lot better, and it's not close.
Yeah, you know, and after, you know, just after 24 minutes of play, you can't have 20 points on the board and expect to beat a team like Glenbard West.
No, you cannot. And I don't think there's a lot of teams in the state of Illinois this year that are able to hang around. Well, a lot of people heading out.
I've never seen. I was just about to say.
For a third quarter?
I have not seen a stadium, you know, especially this place, empty out after just the 3rd quarter.
But anyway, I don't think there's a lot of teams in the state of Illinois that are going to be able to beat Glenbard West. There's not going to be a lot that are going to be able to hang around either. Leo was, and then that changed in the second half. Talking to Jack Gleason before the game, he said Kenwood over the summer, they hung around. Kenwood's very good. They won at Proviso West last night. And obviously Simeon, and I think, yeah, we'll see. We're going to see the bench of Glenbard West now.
And you talked about the margin of victory for LT. We thought, you know, maybe this team coming in, just our rationale of thinking, we thought this team
with their defense especially.
Yeah, we just thought they were hitting stride at the right time. This was, you know, the best time they could come up here and play a team like Glenbard West.
Well, the thing is, LT has 2 losses. Riverside, Brookfield, who a lot of people expected them to play in the semis. Instead, they played Sandburg because of COVID. That's a corner 3 off the mark. And their other loss comes to Glenbard West. So, you know, 2 teams that were in this tournament that you're going to have to play, and, you know, it just doesn't really work out.
It feels unrealistic to be asking this question in a holiday championship.
Oh, goodness.
But
what are you going to ask me?
When does the clock start running? Because we
should
had that
be.
happen the other day.
I
thought
be.
it was 30 points, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
yes.
what I thought.
Well, that's something we don't ask in you don't, or at least you're not hoping to ask in a semifinal, quarterfinal, or championship game.
When hit the line.
You know, maybe in a first-round
West.
game because of the way the matchups are set, stuff like that. But in a game like this, you're not expecting that. And
speaking of it, I think we were quicker to the punch than the scores table. The clock is running. Jack Cardwell to take the ball up.
I mean, a lot of media came here today to, you know, obviously cover this tournament. People were hoping it'd be good, exciting, and instead a lot of people came out just to watch Glenbard West play in person, which the fact that I've been able to sit tableside for 4 days and watch them is awesome.
The Lion faithful loves that bucket. That one.
Colin McManaman.
Put in there by McManaman. Cardwell looking around. Yeah, you know, this Glenbard West team, you know, going forward is just going to be such a hard team to beat. And, you know, you hit January, you hit February, you mentioned you hit March.
They'll be fun to watch.
They'll be very fun to watch. And it'll be interesting to see what team, if any, gives them a hard time. But, you know, that's what makes it fun. That's what makes, you know, high school basketball in the state of Illinois fun, like we saw a few years ago with York and Whitney Young. You know, Glenbard West is going to have their time to prove who they are. You know, whether
well, yeah, I mean, they have a lot of high-quality wins, too. You know, Hillcrest was one of them. They beat Glenbrook South and Yorkville Christensen, but it's only a matter of time. You're right, before they've got to play that team from the city of Chicago.
And, you know, York, obviously, York was, you know, a lot of people thought kind of drew the short straw in 2019 when they were placed in the sectional that they were. They had teams like Curie, you mentioned it, Whitney Young.
I was on that same boat where I thought it was just a bad draw.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see what happens here with Glenbard West as we, you know, just about a month and a half out of, 2 months out of postseason play. You know, it's just there's a lot of interesting questions to ask about this Glenbard West team. Is that one going up and in? And first points in a while for LT. Actually, really for anybody, a little bit of scoring drought here.
So do you want to hear Glenbard West sectional that we've talked about it?
Yeah, go ahead.
It features a lot of teams out of DuPage County. They're in the Bartlett sectional. They'll have Addison Trail, Mateo Valley, Bartlett, obviously. Bartlett's got a 7-3 kid. You think that 7-3 is enough to compete with Glenbard West or no?
Well, you know, I'd love to watch the matchup between, you know,
Huff
and a kid who's 7-3. The thing is, Huff beats you in more ways than one. He's not just a rim protector. He's not just a rebounder.
Right.
He's out. He comes outside. He floats around the arc. He's just.
So he's a do-it-all guy.
He's a do-it-all guy, exactly. You know, we mentioned that guard-like ability. His Doxus bringing it back up for the Hilltoppers.
Obviously, York, Geneva, Glenbard West, Bennett Academy. Bennett Academy made that bump up to 4A, so Bennett versus the Hilltoppers could be fun. Glenbard East, Naperville North and Central, Lake Park, Willowbrook, West Chicago, Wheaton North and Wheaton Warrenville South. Wheaton Warrenville South was undefeated up until the other day, so you know.
Just ball called here. Real quickly, hold that thought. That mass timeout will take us to a quick timeout with 3:52 remaining in the 47th annual Jack Tosh Holiday Classic Championship. It's still all Glenbard West. 58-24. We'll be back just after this. Resuming action now here with Glenbard West. Takeaway here from LT. The right-hand layup is good. That was Lewis Kaminsky on the basket.
Kent Buckles got really up there trying to block that shot.
Well, that'll be something interesting to see going forward. You know, maturity also means so much. You know, in a team sport like basketball as well. 3, no good there. That one was tipped and deflected by Carter Reed. You know, just you know, how Glenbard West, you know, is going forward and the talent they continue to produce going forward. We have numerous substitutions here. I think it's safe to say that you know, both teams have a sense that this
is over.
This thing might be over.
Yeah, I mean, 32 points in 3 minutes is almost impossible.
I'll be honest with you. I really can't believe it. I thought we were in for a little bit more of a
yeah.
More game.
Well, I think a lot of people, including myself, expected to see Glenbard West and Bolingbrook and Lyons upset Bolingbrook last night, and then Bolingbrook lost today to Rolling Meadows, and you know, Bolingbrook kind of having, in a sense, a down year, which for them is, you know, very unlike them. To finish 4th in a holiday tournament, I don't think a lot of people were expecting that. And we said on the pre-tournament show they had the win over Thornton and then the win over Marion Catholic. So those were 2 quality wins. But, you know, to be able to beat LT or even compete against Glenbard West would have been huge for once sectional seeding time comes around.
Michael Glover couldn't hit either free throw. So back the other way comes LT. Going, driving. Good little Euro step move there.
More members out of LT Faithful are excited.
Elliot Russell on the basket.
Nice. That's a beautiful cut.
Offensive foul called there. Minute 45 and counting, Bobby. You know, I think, you know, looking back on the Tosh, I think we're all just so grateful that we were able to get to this point. You know, really without, you know, too much trouble. We had a few teams have to pull out due to COVID, a few during the tournament.
We were
fortunate.
Very fortunate. We were concerned going in. Chance for a finish couldn't. We were concerned going into the tournament. Right now we are no longer concerned because everything worked out, shaped out fine. And we're here with a winner. More people are going to spill out from behind us.
With 1 minute remaining in the ball game, Glenbard West 60 points. You know, after that first half, you know, felt like we might have hit 60 at the end of the, you know, really at the end of the third quarter.
Yeah.
That defense still effective even with the starters out of the ball game for Glenbard West.
So.
Baseline jumper there, no good.
And I believe that we'll go all tournament team, then the championship trophy is hoisted. And we'll talk to multiple people from multiple schools about their experience in the Jack Tosh. And then obviously Glenbard West with Apoka, other guys like that.
10 seconds remain.
That is going to do it.
Unable to finish there was Matthew DeSimone. And so with that being said, maybe as expected, the Glenbard West Hilltoppers steamroll the Lions of Lyons Township, winning 60-28, and they are your 2021 Jack Tosh Holiday Classic Tournament champions. This one pretty much...
it got out of hand quick. It got out of hand very quickly.
And Durkin, you know, much to credit, hitting his first 3 threes of the game kind of set the tone early.
It really did. You know, he got off to a hot start, and they pulled away really quickly. So, I mean, that's going to do it. I think we're going to go all tournament. Then we'll do the winners. We will hopefully interview a lot of people. And the one thing I'm really hoping for is they took the trophy out of the trophy case that had the ball on it, and they give that to Glenbard West.
Yeah, I mean,
like an actual trophy.
I'll be honest. I haven't seen the trophy.
Oh, you have?
I have not. I'm looking forward
that's right.
To it. I'm looking forward to it.
You missed it from 2019.
I am looking forward to it, though. So with that being said, Bobby Hessling, Gavin Hughes, at the end of all 4 quarters in game number 67 of the Jack Tosh Holiday Classic, it is Glenbard West 60, LT 28, and that's going to do it for us. So this was fun, and for everybody at the YSN crew.
Post game is next.
Post game will be next, and we will have that and bring that to you. Thank you for joining us here on YSN.
Now we'd like to recognize players that just played in the game here. Let's go from Lyons Township first. Congratulations to number 35, Nicholas Polanowski. Also from Lyons Township, number 1, Billy Lott. Congratulations.
That was their closest game, I think. Tyler, who are you interviewing? West Coast?
No.
Am I off, Jack? Should I back up? Okay. Probably Orlib. Orlib had like 7 today up there. Am I off yet? Jag, am I still on? Bobby Hessling alongside the Jack Tosh champion coach, Jason Apoka. Coach, first of all, congratulations on the win. What worked really well out there?
I just think we got off to a great start in that first quarter. Offensively getting out in transition and the ball was going in. It's actually fun to watch because the space is so open and we fed the ball inside. It seemed like everything was clicking.
Talk about Bobby Durkin. He got off to a quick start for you guys. He went 3 for 3 from 3 to start. Did that really start, what ended up being a big-time win for you guys?
Absolutely. Anytime Bobby has space, we tell him shoot the ball. And he did that today, and he got us rolling with those 9 points early, and then we never looked back.
You guys have got this holiday tournament down. You obviously have when sides collide at Glenbard East, but this isn't it. You want to win in March. How important is this for you guys as a team booster?
In the beginning of the season, we wanted to make the most difficult schedule that we possibly could that would prepare us for post-playoff play. And we did that, joining the Tosh tournament, playing in Sides Collide, and then also with the non-con schedule that we're going to have coming up in and actually setting up another game at Wintrust versus Kenwood.
Well, you guys are going to play Kenwood. That I'm sure is going to be sold out, packed place there. You guys really put a lot of pressure on yourself having that tough schedule, but they make it look easy. What does this whole team do so well to win in a game like this?
They care about each other. They share the basketball so well, and they zone in defensively. As long as they contribute, they're happy.
Okay, first of all, congratulations on the win. And Bobby Durkin will now join us. Bobby, big win for you guys. And you started 3 for 3 from 3 to start. Did that result in the big, starting to pull away?
Yeah, I think that was just good for us as a team to get going, starting hot. Really against a team like them, we know they're a good team. Like they have shooters just like we do. So being able to come out and kind of get out to a lead, that was really big for us.
Now, you played in this tournament in 2019 with your brother Billy. He's no longer here. You're at Glenbard West now. So are these guys now like another brother to you guys, to you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the relationship that we've had, just even playing in the summer and then even more so during this season, I mean, it's just gotten really close. And it's like, kind of feels like I'm playing with my brother. Like back when I was playing, that connection, we kind of have that type of connection where you're just hitting one more passes and you just know what the other person's going to be. So it's really good.
Got another tournament down. Obviously, the big one is coming up in March, but you're not there yet. You still got a lot of tough games left. What do you guys have to do to keep this momentum going?
I think we just got to stay focused at practice, especially in some of these big games, just do what we do best and kind of focusing on playing as a team and just kind of continuing like that. I mean, if we just take it step by step and focus on each individual game and not worry about too many things in the future, just kind of stay in the present moment, I think we'll be in a good position for the future.
Talk about that guy over there. He won the tournament MVP. How awesome is it being able to play with Braden Huff?
I mean, it just makes everything so easy. I mean, you just know whether it's a team that's wanting to pick up in the full court, you can always just toss it back to him, and he'll be able to break it by himself. And even just half-court offense, you just give it to him, and he'll be able to score himself or be able to make plays for others. So it's super fun.
Congratulations on the win. We won't see you for the rest of this way, but we're excited to watch you guys throughout the rest of the season. Now, joining us after Huff is done with his other interview, he'll be joining us here in just a moment, the tournament MVP. But obviously, the scene here at York is a big one. Now, the tournament MVP, Braden Huff, joins us. Braden, welcome back. And congratulations on the win and the tournament MVP. How special is it to be holding that right now?
No, it's been awesome. This was a great tournament, lots of good teams. And I mean, I'm more excited about the trophy. We got the team trophy, and I think the team played really well today. I'm really happy with what we did.
It's not the only trophy I'm sure you're excited about. You're looking for the one down the line. But how awesome is it to be holding this trophy right about now?
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I mean, obviously we have the goal of state, but this is just a building block for us. All these teams are teams we could see later down the road, and it was a really good learning experience for us overall.
I saw a lot of styles, but you overcame everything. Now talk about that guy over there, Bobby Durkin. He started off hot from three for three. Was he the big reason why you guys were able to pull away so early?
Yeah, no, he's been great for us. Obviously a transfer, he didn't play with us last year, so that start he had got us going early. And yesterday we didn't have the best shooting day, so seeing him knock down those 3 threes made it easy for the rest of us.
Enjoy this tonight, and good luck the rest of the way. Oh. Our announcer, Gavin Hughes, threw Braden Huff, who's going to Gonzaga next year. Congratulations on that, a Baylor hat, and best of luck to Huff the rest of the season. That will do it for here tonight from the Jack Tosh Holiday Classic here on York High School. Cannot express how grateful it was for all of you folks to be watching at home, all the guys that helped us with Gavin Connolly, Josh Melvin, Tyler Nels, AJ Switek, Gavin Hughes, our technical producer and director, Jack Borchers, other guys such as Ryan Piquel. I could go on and on. From York, Happy New Year, everyone, and these guys will see you next year.
All right, I'm shutting it off. I'm good, right?